welcome to Kim with Kim. I'm Kim, and let's talk about the No Kings protests, okay? Let's get into it because I feel like we were like, well, why do I care? Why does that concern me? That has nothing to do with me. For the people who, I'm just gonna be blunt. For the people who that lack humanity and think that they're not an immigrant and that has nothing to do with them, that is not just what the No Kings protest is about. Which beautiful turnout. I mean, every single state, huge turnouts. Even small towns had turnouts. International turnout, okay? His little dumb, expensive birthday parade, okay? You made the military have a parade that cost American taxpayers $45 million, okay? Okay. $45 million for his birthday parade. The man turned in 79. Ugh. And you want to have the military out there because you're commander-in-chief. Waste our money. Nobody's there to see it. You had no one coming to support you. And the troops don't even march good for you because that's their way of protesting. Which, go them. Because it's not like they can just not go. They do have jobs. But I want to say to the people who are like, well, why should I care? I'm not an immigrant. It's crazy for somebody to say that. But the reason you should care is because at the end of the day, why it's called No Kings and it was done on his birthday, and why you should care is because it is a lack of due process. And it is the conditions in which people are being treated. And it is the way that, people are here and they would like you to think that illegal is a term. And it's a vicious thing, and it's not. The term is undocumented. Entering this country undocumented is not a violent crime. It's the same as getting a ticket. It's the same as you getting a parking ticket violation. It's a civil violation. It is not a violent crime to enter this country undocumented. So let's start there. And it's like I said, the protest is more that in these last 6 months of Trump's presidency and his nonstop executive orders and his lack of respect for the way that the Constitution works, the process of law, how power runs. This is not an all power in one branch. The executive branch does not run the United States. And you have judges coming in from the judiciary branch trying to exercise checks and balances, and he is not listening. He's trying to be, that's why it's called No Kings. And there's no reason for him to have a parade on his birthday. You got $45 million of taxpayer money to spend, but you can't spend that money to continue to feed kids that are in pre-K and free school lunches and keep our Social Security secure. You want to threaten Medicaid and Medicare, but you can spend $45 million on a parade for your birthday. You can spend over $300 million on these ICE raids, and they're targeted ICE raids, but they are missing, the white immigrant communities. I don't see anyone looking at that. There's no raids in predominantly white immigrant places. I don't see them raiding, not to target anybody, but they're not sitting here looking for European immigrants. They're not doing raids there. They're doing raids for the people who are brown and people who are Latina. And some of them have legal status, and you're choosing to still reject current legal statuses of people with current visas, people who are on the wait list for naturalization, which is a process. So you have people who are here legally and you're making them an undocumented status. You're saying, well, your visa is no longer valid as a form of identification. Oh, you're born in the United States, you're still getting deported. So it's like I said, he's not respecting checks and balances. He's just trying to have full authoritarian power totalitarian power, and that's not what the United States is. He's not respecting the Constitution. He's not respecting the laws of the land, and he's trying to do away with our due process of law. Our due process of law applies to the law of the land. It doesn't matter if you are born here or not. Everyone is entitled to their due process in law, to their day in court. And just doing these raids that are expensive and grabbing people and wrongfully having them in detention centers and not caring about the health conditions. A woman in the Broward County Detention Center died. She died in custody because she didn't have, we don't know the exact reason, but the conditions are bad and people have health problems, and you're treating people without, dignified behavior, and you're separating families. And a lot of people, I heard an experience where someone is here on a work visa. So that means a company sponsored to bring you here. You have a work visa. They sponsor your family. Everyone's here. You've been here 10 plus years. So now at year 10, because you came on a work visa and then you applied for your green card, and now that you've finally been here 10 plus years, now you can apply for citizenship, and you're on the wait list, and they round you up in these raids and say, no, that's not a current status right now. You're considered illegal, and now you're getting deported. Excuse me? You can't just become a citizen here overnight, and that's my thing. So people who are like, oh, this doesn't affect them, it's not about immigration. It's about, oh my gosh, this is such a bad one. It's about the due process of law being taken for granted. Because right now it's with immigration, right? Right now, that's what it is. But what about when it's, because I hear a lot of people say, well, what does that have to do with me? I'm not an immigrant. My family's not immigrants. We're all naturalized now. We're all this, we're all that. What about when it's, the people who wrongfully are targeted and we have police brutality, right? And, now it's, oh, there's no more your day in court. You're just arrested and you're put in jail. There's no more innocent until proven guilty. Now, whenever you're accused of a crime, you're arrested for anything against you. Imagine that. Imagine if it was not innocent until proven guilty and it was just arrested and guilty as charged. That's what's at stake. That's why it affects you. Because if one group of people is not getting their due process, everyone is at risk of not getting their due process. If the Constitution is not being followed, we are all at risk of losing our rights. If we are sitting here debating on what is right or wrong when it comes to a woman's body, we're all at risk of our medical health decisions being decided for us. We're all at risk of our health care being at jeopardy, which we already are. So that's where your mind needs to go. If one person is lacking the due process, if one person is losing their rights in this country, we're all at risk of not having that due process in everywhere that it goes. We're all at risk of losing our voice. And, everyone showed out, and I love that. Everyone showed out for the No Kings protests all around the country. And people who even voted for him are seeing and opening their eyes and changing their minds, because it's ruining a lot of things for everybody. And that's what you need to understand. You would sit here and say that it doesn't affect you, and it does. Okay? If you want to think that it doesn't affect you, tariffs affect you. People being harmed affects you. People losing their rights affects you. You being at risk of losing your say and your decision making affects you. You paying taxes and having your money go towards a parade for a bigot and a felon and a criminal in office instead of feeding children in schools, trying to get an education, trying to learn and move forward, that affects you. It affects us all. So I really hope that we continue to use our voices. I think it's great to be heard. I think that we need to find a way to promote change and let change happen, because I don't have a problem with any immigrant. What I do have a problem with is the felon in office and the people who think that that's not a problem, and the people who are turning a blind eye and don't see that losing our due process and losing our rights and the Constitution becoming a null and void document when it's the law of the land. Yeah, I have a problem with that, but I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, subscribe. Remember, everything you do it for you. And while you're at it, happy Juneteenth, y'all. Thanks. Bye.